fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the Flash, Batman, and Batmobile from the Spin Master 4-inch line of figures from the upcoming Flash movie. As you can see, we have this open style of packaging here, so of course we have the Batmobile, and it does come with the younger version of Barry and Batman included as well, and they're just kind of tied onto the top of the card, and then we have the Batmobile here. So I'm excited for this. This is my absolute favorite design of the Batmobile ever. The 89 Batman movie, Tim Burton's Batman, was like the favorite one growing up as a kid. So really excited to see that coming back. Seeing Michael Keaton reprise the role is really, really cool. And I just absolutely love this design of the Batmobile. So I'm really excited that Spin Master is giving us this one here. Spinning it around to the back, just some product shots of the Batmobile and the two figures that are included, letting us know they are in the 4-inch scale. And then they're very excited to let us know that the figure does fit inside the Batmobile. Although, would we really expect any less? I would hope if they're giving us a Batmobile toy that Batman could actually ride inside. So yeah, that's pretty much it here. I'm going to go ahead and get everything out of the packaging and we'll take a closer look. So here's everything you get in the packaging. We'll start with the figures first. Unfortunately, they're the exact same figures that we've seen before. If you've been buying all of the different sets for the vehicles or the exclusive figures, you're going to wind up with some duplicates. And this is the exact same Batman we saw in the 5-pack that was the Amazon exclusive that came with Zod. Also available in the kind of standard release of the Batwing, but there is an Amazon exclusive Batwing set that instead has the Flash and Supergirl. So again, depending on what you're buying, you're going to wind up with some duplicates. But they are nice figures. I think they look pretty good. Head sculpt is nice. I can't really tell because it's so tiny, but I think the eye is a little misprinted on this one over here. I think it's a little low, but it's not super noticeable. The head sculpt for the mouth and the chin, I think that all looks really nice. I think the bat ears look great. I love that. Bat symbol there on the chest looks very good. Utility belt looks great. A lot of molded detail in here. Now, this could be correct to the movie because I haven't seen it yet, but the original 89 Batman had a yellow painted utility belt, and I think that might be something that they could do very simple. Just if they're going to keep putting the same figures in these various sets, maybe just do like a little bit of a paint variation. Maybe the other one had the belt painted, maybe this one doesn't, something like that. Just so they're not exactly the same, just to give you a little variation. But again, the boots, they look perfect right out of the original movie. All the detail, I think, is really, really nice. They're good figures. Head can rotate from side to side there. You have a hinge and a rotation in the shoulder. You have a hinge and a rotation in the elbow. The forearm and the hand are all one solid piece, so there's nothing in the wrist. Nothing in the waist. You do have a ball joint in the hip. You can kick about that far. Pretty far out to the side, which is nice. Can't really go back because he's got a butt flap molded in there. You do have a thigh swivel, and then you have a hinge and a rotation in the knee, and then from the knee down is one solid piece, so nothing in the ankles. It's got a nice cloth cape, and I do appreciate that they've switched to cloth instead of nylon because these don't get all crinkled and bent up like the nylon ones do. And then you have the scallop pattern there on the bottom, which I think looks really cool as I drop him. So it's a good looking figure. Like I said, it's just that we already have it because you could have either gotten it with the Batwing or the Amazon 5-pack. And just to prove my point, here is the Batman from the Amazon 5-pack. And as you can tell, they're exactly identical. When I saw it in the store, I thought maybe this was like a little bit more of a metallic sheen to it, but it's not really the case. And that's what I'm talking about. Just something, maybe like make one a little bit more metallic, one a little bit more matte, or a slightly different paint application like the belt. Just something to make them a little different, just so that it's fun to have variants. But they're just kind of giving us the same thing again. But again, it's still a good figure. It's just you're probably going to wind up with duplicates. And now we move on to Young Barry. And I think this is such a fun suit. I haven't seen the movie, because obviously it's not out yet, but it's very apparent that he makes this suit out of like a bat suit that Batman must have lying around, because you can see the molding here on the boots is the same. You can see the bat symbol there that he's painted and then has the lightning bolt over top. I think that's really fun. I think that's a neat little aspect. You can see they kind of cut the ears off for his helmet. So I think that's kind of fun. He has to make kind of like a makeshift Flash suit, and so he makes it out of a bat suit that Batman must have lying around. I think that's really funny. Articulation's exactly the same. Head, shoulders, elbows, nothing in the waist or wrists. Got the ball joint in the hip. Got the thigh swivel. Same knees, and again, nothing in the ankle, but some nice paint applications. He's got some lightning bolts here on the side. He's got this kind of caution tape thing going around. It looks like it actually might just be a piece of caution tape or something. It's got the lightning bolt there. It definitely has kind of like a makeshift, you know, thrown together suit feel to it, and I think that's a really fun design. I like that quite a bit. But yeah, again, it's a good figure. Here is the exact same one from the Amazon 5-pack, and again, you can see that they are identical. So, gonna wind up with some duplicates. But I think this is a really fun figure. I love the design of this. I can't wait to see how it gets made in the movie. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So now I will put these two off to the side so we can take a look at the Batmobile. And I think this thing looks pretty great. It is, I don't want to say cheap, but it has kind of a cheaper feel to it. I mean, it's sturdy. I don't think anything's going to go wrong with it, but you can see underneath is hollow. It almost feels like you could have another character sit in this area if you just kind of sat him down on the ground and then put the car over top of him. But it's not like a super heavy duty plastic. It definitely has just kind of a cheaper feel to it. Again, it's not going to break or anything like that. It's perfectly solid, but it's just the kind of feel of the plastic. But again, we have some nice molded in detail here. I think this is actually a different inlet or inlaid piece of plastic there. A little bit of paint for the headlights. You have a little bit of silver paint here for kind of the engine piece. This is, again, just a gray piece of plastic set in there. And then we have a little bit of silver paint here on the back for the engine. And then for the brake lights here, we have some red painted on there. So, I mean, it looks good. It definitely looks like the 89 Batmobile, rolls very well. The cockpit kind of slides open, which I really, really like that a lot because that's how it opens in the movie. If I remember the original Kenner toy that I had, I think I had the one from Batman Returns because I remember the sides popped off because in the movie he has kind of just like the centerpiece here that he uses for like one scene. But these sections here lifted up and had spring-loaded missile launchers in there, and I feel like something like that is what this is missing. It's just a little bit on the cheaper side, doesn't really have any play features or anything like that. I feel like some spring-loaded missile launchers or something like that really could have made the difference if these little sections had popped up. Although I will say the Kenner one, I think, had a hinge here in the whole, hood of the driver's cockpit, whatever we want to call this section here. That flipped up like that, and I definitely like the fact that this slides open because that's more accurate to the movie. So I do really appreciate that, and I think it works very well. Just very simply slides open and then slides closed just like that. So it does have a little bit of a hollow feel, but I do like it. And I did want to say that the whole set, I think, was $30. I found it today at Walmart. And I feel like if the figures are usually $8 to $10 a piece, now granted, these didn't come with any accessories or anything like that. But even if we say, $8 a piece, we'll go at the lower end of the range for no accessories. That's like $16, which means that this is like $14. So it's kind of half the set, is the figures, half the set is the Batmobile. I feel like for $10 to $15, this is fair. I think this is a decent Batmobile for that price. Rolls pretty nicely, has some decent paint applications. I really like the fact that that slides open, and it's going to be kind of impossible to see. But there is some molded detail for the steering wheel and some dials and things inside. No stickers or anything like that. And then you can kind of see the seat inside. And he does fit in very simply, so we're going to just take Batman, and we are going to put him in a sitting position. And then just drop him. Actually, maybe I'll utilize that thigh swivel to kind of bring those in a little bit. And then he can fit in there very simply. He almost kind of slides all the way to the bottom. But you can kind of bend him more at the waist if you want him to sit up a little bit more. And then slides close. So he really has no difficulty fitting inside there, which is cool. Would be nice if you could have fit both figures in, but I get it. But, I mean, it does look good. I mean, the design is there. It looks like a very nicely streamlined Batmobile. I really think they did a good job creating it here, and I love the look of it. So, I mean, for a $14, $15 Batmobile, I feel like this is fair. Obviously, if you love this Batmobile and you want a super decked out, more bells and whistles version, McFarlane is doing the 6-inch version, which you could probably still put 4-inch figures in and it wouldn't look too ridiculous, but that thing's upwards of $60. So, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I think for, $14, $15 Batmobile, I think this is fair. I think the price is fine. I think it's a good set, especially if you don't have the figures already. If you don't have the figures already, then I think it's definitely worth it. But yeah, I really like the design of this Batmobile. I always have, and I think Spin Master did a pretty excellent job recreating it here. Honestly, I think this is a pretty great little set. I love the look of the Batmobile. They definitely nailed recreating that '89 Batmobile from that first Tim Burton Batman movie. It looks great, has a couple of paint applications, couple of different colored pieces of plastic just to accentuate the details and everything like that. And for a $15 Batmobile, I think it's fair. I think the value is there. Obviously, if you want a fancier, more tricked out version, they do exist. But if you're on a budget, I think this makes a pretty excellent little display piece, and it is in scale with the figures. It could be a little bigger, but I think it's perfectly fine. Would be nice if it had some spring-loaded missile launchers or something like that, just to add a little bit more functionality, but I think it looks the part, and I think it does work well with the figures. Obviously, Batman has no problem sitting inside, which I appreciate. I love the fact that this kind of swings forward instead of hinging back like the original Kenner toy did. I think that's more movie accurate and just looks cooler, so I like that a lot. The two figures are perfectly good. Like I said, nothing we haven't seen before, especially if you've been keeping up with this line and buying all the sets as they come out. You're definitely going to run into some duplicates. I think just about every one of the main figures, both versions of the Flash, Supergirl, Batman, you're going to have at least probably a duplicate of each one if you've been buying all of these sets. Now, there are some exclusive figures throughout the line, and so to get all of those, you're going to wind up with some duplicates. But I do think it's been a pretty great line so far. I don't know how much more we're going to get. The movie's coming out soon, and I think this was kind of the last release that I was looking for. Might be the end of this line. We got the Batmobile, we got the Batwing, we got the 5-pack of exclusive figures on Amazon, and then we had kind of the single-release figures that have been seen at retail, Walmart, Target, etc. So might be the end of this line, honestly. I think we got more than we got for the Batman that came out previously. Although we did get a playset for that kind of late towards the end, so who knows, maybe we'll get a playset out of this line. That'd be fun. But in any case, I think this is a nice release. I think for the price, it's totally reasonable. Would be nice if the figures came with some accessories. Would be nice if the, Batmobile had some kind of play value or more functionality, maybe like a spring-loaded missile launcher or something like that. But at the end of the day, I think it's pretty fair for what you get, and I definitely recommend checking it out. If you're a fan of this Batmobile like I am, I think this is going to make a really nice display piece. Just kind of build your Batman collection around it. If you have a Bat Cave from one of the other releases, I think this should go with it pretty nicely. It's just a really fun and a really great designed Batmobile. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.